Hi, Sheila with BizWorth here. Thanks for joining me for an overview of an automotive repair and maintenance company. Regardless of the business you own or the industry you operate within, the fundamental valuation tools and techniques are the same, and all BizWorth certified reports are structured in the same way. We also take confidentiality very seriously here at BizWorth. So we're going to show you an actual report, but we've changed the company's name, the valuation dates. We've also changed all specific underlying information regarding the company. But we thought it'd be helpful to show you an actual valuation report and cover the report in some detail. So let's show you an actual BizWorth valuation report. We start off by identifying the company and the valuation dates. We also discuss upfront what is the percentage of the business that's being valued. Is it a controlling and marketable ownership interest, or is it non-controlling, non-marketable? And then here's the table of contents, which is the same for every valuation report. We have an executive summary. That's where we'll spend the majority of our time in this quick overview. We also have an introduction that goes into detail on the valuation engagement, the nature and history of the company. We're also going to spend some time here to talk to you about this automotive company and a lot of the pros they had going for them, and then some of the risks. Also, the overview of the economy and industry. This is very important. It helps to inform lots of things, one of which is growth rates of the company, financial condition and earnings potential of the business and how they benchmark against the industry, and also the valuation of the company. So let's start with the executive summary of this company. It's laid out in the same way for every company. There is a specific conclusion of value, the business interest that's been valued, and then we start to provide a high-level overview of the nature and history of the company. And we also talk about key takeaways of this particular engagement. So this particular company had a lot of really great things going for it. This company had been in business for almost 30 years, had very high ratings on lots of customer rating tools such as Yelp and Google. They also had a very well-developed website. They had a great marketing program. They were continuously reaching out to existing and potential customers in the area. They also had just a few weaknesses, such as longstanding membership, a key person that the company was identified with. Which is also a pro to some extent as well. Obviously, they had very strong management, but there was one key person that was identified with the business in the community. Also, they had other things that provided them with potential upside in the future. This particular business was closed Saturday and Sundays, which is just fine, but there is potential to increase the valuation if this business was open on any of those days. They also had bays within their automotive repair shop that went unused. They had other things that we're going to talk about in their valuation as well. But overall, a very strong company in business for almost 30 years. The industry and economy overview is important, regardless of the business and the industry you operate within. It's very important to understand the geographic region you operate. This particular business had one automotive shop, but there are some businesses that have several within a city or within a county or several within a state. It's very important to understand that there's diversification upside, but there's also customer diversification. There's economy diversification in the sense that if one particular region's hit hard with layoffs, for example, the others might be somewhat sheltered from that. There's lots of different things that you can think about. Also, in terms of growth rates, there is time early on in a company's life or after a remodel or a new project, a new push campaign, that there might be a high growth rate. But over the long term, companies generally do not have higher growth rate than the general economy or the industry in which they operate, much higher than that for the sustained long period of time. So it's important to understand those growth rates. The financial condition and earnings potential of the company. This company had been around for a long time. We benchmarked them against competitors. For the last several years, this company had almost a plateau to slightly decreasing revenues for a host of reasons. We also make adjustments if necessary. So sometimes owners will either pay themselves more or less than industry, we make adjustments for that. Sometimes there are expenses running through the business that aren't necessarily important for them to be quote deemed as business expenses. So we make adjustments for those, whether they be for the plus or for the negative. The valuation itself, this particular business, we looked at all three approaches. We looked at the asset approach, the income approach, and the market approach. And some companies decide to average the valuation. Some choose a particular one valuation. We generally choose a specific approach and the valuation associated with that approach for a host of reasons, but there are reasons why you may want to average them. The income approach that we went with, the capitalization of earnings method is what we chose. And for this particular company, they'd been in business for a very long period of time. And the earnings profile was somewhat predictable. So for this particular client, we chose a capitalization of earnings method. However, if this company was going to do a capital expenditure project where they were going to add 6 more bays or do a huge marketing campaign push in addition to some remodel, there might be some capital associated with that. We would likely do a discounted cash flow model or a multi-stage growth method. So we look at different approaches depending on the specifics of that given company. The introduction, we talk about the standard of value chosen. In this particular case, we chose the fair market value. The nature and history of the company. This is an automotive company. And so we talked about the background, how long they've been in business, the services they provide. Again, we looked at the revenues. We actually spoke in some summarized detail about the services they provide, from air conditioning to auto alignment, oil changes to vehicle inspections, tire replacement and balancing services. We talked about the customers. Generally, this one location automotive repair shop had customers from the surrounding area. They had a lot of repeat customers. They had very few fleet accounts. So we look at those different items. We look at how many customers make up your total customer base. If there's one client, for example, that make up 50% or 70% of your revenues, there is a higher risk profile associated with that customer. We also look for an automotive repair. We look at fleet accounts. Fleet accounts are generally helpful because in times that you're not very busy, it keeps your people working. Marketing and advertising, we look at what marketing a company is doing. And for this automotive repair, they had a very proactive, great website. They were on Yelp. They were on several different tools to garner customers. We talked about their competition, their management. We talked about their facilities. In this particular company, they had several more bays available than what they were using. We also talked about their employees, and we talked about how many were master techs, how many were certified technicians. That matters too, because the knowledge of your technicians differ based on certifications. Their charge rates differ. So that is something we look at as well for automotive repair companies. The economy and industry, we do look at the very specific industry that you're operating within, but we drill a lot deeper. We look at the regional economy and we summarize all of that. But all of the growth rates are important. The health of the economy is important. The drivers of your industry is important for automotive repair. The more affluent areas you live, it could impact the success of your business for an automotive repair shop that's not connected with a dealership. We also look at whether the number of registered vehicles, whether that's increasing or declining. We look at gasoline prices. All of those key drivers may impact your business. And if you're in a different industry, for example, you may be a restaurant, you may be a law firm or a medical practice, you'll have different drivers for your industry as well. For this particular company, we also looked at their financial conditioning and earnings. We compared them to the benchmark competitors. And then we moved into the actual valuation of the business. And we walk step by step in that valuation. We talk about all three approaches. And we talk about the methods that we used in each one of those approaches. So don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions. We're here to help. So if you'd like to schedule a free consultation, please go to bizworth.com, Schedule a free 30-minute consultation. We'll have a certified valuation professional speak to you about your business and the specifics of your valuation. If you found this overview to be helpful, please, I ask that you go to YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and you'll be notified when we have more case studies coming up for your future, if you're interested in those. So thank you very much for watching this. Really appreciate it.